Weekend market update. It's Blake with Trade Tracer. Let's go ahead and get into it. As you guys know, none of this is financial advice. Always invest and trade at your own risk. If you like this content, hit that like and subscribe in the bottom right. And for free signals, make sure you hit that description button with the link to Telegram. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. We're going to recap the market and give you one of my favorite trade setups. So without further ado, let's get started on the NASDAQ, the QQQ, because it has been the leader. It's where we like to focus on is the leaders. So on Thursday, we had some intense selling pressure, and really Friday, it didn't look like it was going to be a very positive day either. We started moving to cash and taking risk off the table on Wednesday and Thursday, and then we're completely out of the market by Friday. And the reason was because we were coming into this 23-day uptrend, and I was alerting members and people that follow on Telegram and Twitter that this isn't the area to be adding a lot of new risk exposure because we've already been in a very strong upturn for over 20 days. We're deviated from the 10 SMA, and stocks were showing some internal signs of high probabilities of a pullback. So once we broke trend on Thursday, and breaking trend is a close below the 10 SMA on the daily time frame, that's good enough for me and my rules to go ahead and to move to cash. So when we break trend, and when we go into no trends and downtrends, the number one priority for us is preservation of capital and year-to-date gains because we've had a massive year with this incredible uptrend that we've had on the NASDAQ. We'd have multiple winners. So right now, I don't feel a need to be pressing long. Okay, I would like for this to consolidate and pull back, and it's doing exactly what I would expect it to do. We came up to almost touched the 50 SMA and closed at the top third of the day on Friday. Okay, so this is not extremely bearish in my opinion, and I'll still remain longer term bullish. And the reason being is because the weekly is still in a very strong uptrend. Now, yes, we've had some volatility, but we're still holding the 10 SMA. We're above the 50, the rising 50, and the MACD is still rising. So from the weekly time frame, from an investment perspective, I'm still long this market, and I'll continue to stay long this market until we start breaking trend on the weekly time frame. Now, right now, the 10 SMA on the weekly for the Qs is right around 270. So keep a close eye on that. Basically, last week's lows. If we break below last week's lows, that will be cause for some concern, and we will get even more defensive. Okay, so until that happens, I'm still bullish bias, and I'm not picking a top. I'm not calling a top, but I do have risk off the table because I just don't think the risk reward is where we need to see it to go ahead and be adding back long market exposure. Now, some of the stocks that we've had in play, your Amazons, all these stocks looks very similar. They all look like they've had a nice strong uptrend, and then Thursday, Friday sold off with somewhat of a reversal, but not really a reversal, but some buying pressure towards the end of the day. On Friday, Google looks very similar, Netflix very similar, Apple, very similar. I still think Apple goes higher longer term. I'm still very bullish Apple over the long term, but it needs to set back up. No new setup there. Same thing with Tesla. Tesla and Apple will be two of the primary stocks that I'll be looking to get back into on the next uptrend once that happens. Now, what about next week? What do I like going into for next week? Well, I don't really like any new long market exposure because on the overall trend, we closed in a downtrend on Friday. So can't really look at any longs because I want to go with the flow of the market. So not looking at really any new longs, but we still have Workhorse, which is a swing long that we've had since it broke this 1826 level. It's been a little volatile, but I said, above 19, I really think this has legs, and I think it can get back up to this 22, 23 level. And if it does that, I think we're in for potentially even a stronger breakout. I like this pattern. I like this setup. I like this stock. I think it can go higher, but we would like to see a strong market. And right now, we're in a downtrend. So I don't have any, real risk on this. This is still positive. It's a positive trade for us. So I'm not really too concerned about Workhorse at the moment. However, I do think of all the stocks that are setting up, I still think Workhorse is a good swing play. So that's about going to do it for today. We can go ahead and take a quick look at the SPY. The SPY is this previous level that we broke out of, the 339.08 level back in February of 2020. That was the previous all-time high. Broke out, came back and retested it. So you see, we're not completely breaking down. And once again, on the weekly time frame, we're still in a strong uptrend. So I'm not bearish. I'm not bearish, but we don't have rules to trade for any new long market exposure. So that's kind of the way that I'm playing it. Sorry, excuse me. That's the way I'm playing it. And until we have some new setups, I won't be getting very, very long in this market until we have some higher risk and higher risk reward setups. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe, and I'll see you when the market opens.